Yeah, he shot the pastor. He shot all the men in the church. Please come right away.
How can this guy do this much carnage?
He's coming, he's coming, he's coming.
Just like I was staring Satan in his face.
He's a young 21-year-old white dude.
He had no feelings whatsoever about anything.
He's still in here, I'm afraid. He's still in here.
I can't believe he came to Shelby. What's he doing in Shelby?
But there's so many people dead, I think.
June 18th, 2015, just 14 hours after 9 people were massacred in Charleston.
But a lady called a friend of mine and said that she was behind the car matching the description of the Charleston killer.
Dylann Roof spotted in Cleveland County, North Carolina.
This started with one woman that paid attention.
Debbie Dills recognized his car and alerted police.
I looked over and I thought, why does that car look familiar to me, and why am I thinking about that car?
Black Hyundai, white male traveling westbound.
Sergeant Dan Bernat remembers that first radio call he and his partner Joe Burris got.
I was outside of the car fueling up, and he told me, you know, we got to go. It's a possible sighting of Dylann Roof.
Appears to be the vehicle they see on TV.
They started following Roof down busy Highway 74 on the west side of Shelby.
78 on West Big.
Their plan to stop him before the edge of town, but not where any people were gathered.
My thought process was, if this is him, I don't want to make that stop in that parking lot.
Trying to find the news.
Sergeant Mike Myers and Detective Scott Hamrick joined the pursuit.
It just so happened we wound up at the traffic light at the end of the city limits.
Lincoln G. George F. Frank 330.
Sergeant Bernat turned on his blue lights.
It had to be done. It had to be effective. It had to be them.
Roof pulled into the driveway of an abandoned house.
And he did exactly what I wanted him to do.
Several other Shelby police officers pulled in behind them.
I was behind the vehicle with my gun drawn, pointing at him, and I could tell pretty well that, yeah, that's him.
County, we just stopped the vehicle out near Plato Lee Road, confirmed it is a suspect.
Sergeant Bernat cautiously approached the car and took Roof into custody. What was his demeanor like?
Calm.
Did he resist whatsoever?
Not at all. Very compliant.
It was almost like he was glad it was over. Now he's ready to tell the story. And I remember me asking him, you know, hey, you know, what's your name? And he said, Dylann Roof. And I said, were you involved in the shooting in Charleston at the church? And he said, yes.
Sergeant Myers asked Roof if any weapons were in the car.
And that's when he referred to the gun under the pillow in the back seat. And he referred to it as the gun. And it stuck out to me when he said the gun is in the back seat under the pillow. It wasn't there's a gun. It was the gun.
They find the car, they get behind it, they run it.
The police chief at the time, Jeff Ledford, now retired, was in a meeting when his assistant broke the news to him that his officers had Roof in custody.
So she just whispered to me, said, we've stopped Dylann Roof. I was like, you got to be kidding. And she shows me the CAD screen, and sure enough, it said confirmed Dylann Roof.
Roof was taken to the Shelby police station where he was questioned by the FBI and South Carolina authorities.
I went to that church in Charleston. I did it.
10 years later, Ledford says he's proud of what his officers accomplished, but they don't want recognition.
I'm definitely not a hero. We're just out doing what we would do any other day.
They did a great job, and we're proud of them, and we're proud of our community. But it still goes back to, let's talk about Charleston. Let's talk about those families and those first responders that were there.
Why did you do it?
These officers later testified at Roof's trial and witnessed his conviction.
Those victims' families got to face him. They got to say their piece to him.
They got to look the devil in the eyes. The families did.